When my girlfriend Maya slapped me across the face for the first time, it hurt. But I convinced myself it was normal that all couples had their moments. She was perfect otherwise. Made me homemade lasagna when I was down. Brought me flowers just because. Even after 6 months together, she'd thank me genuinely every time I paid for dinner. Everything changed when her parents' marriage fell apart. Her father's affair shattered something inside her. The accusations started small. Checking my phone when it buzzed. Getting upset if I smiled at the barista. You don't need to be that friendly, she'd say, her voice tight with suspicion. Then it escalated. 5 minutes late from work meant I was cheating. A delayed text response meant I was with someone else. She'd playfully slap my arm when women walked past, but her nails would dig in deep enough to leave marks. When I mentioned it hurt, she'd cry about her family trauma, and I'd feel guilty for even bringing it up. The night Maya shoved me off my apartment balcony, everything became real. First floor, thankfully, but I still ended up with broken ribs and a dislocated shoulder. The pain was excruciating, radiating through my chest with every breath. I told the hospital staff I'd had a basketball accident. My friends were already suspicious of Maya, so I kept quiet, but my mom wasn't buying any of it. She showed up the next day with groceries and announced she was starting a YouTube channel about home organization. I thought she'd lost her mind. She was a corporate lawyer who could barely use her smartphone. She insisted I'd be her co-host, setting up cameras throughout my entire apartment. Maya thought it was pathetic. Some desperate mom trying to bond with her son through a silly project. She'd mock the videos, never seeing mom as a threat. What I didn't know was that mom was documenting everything. She'd schedule emergency filming sessions whenever she noticed fresh bruises, making sure they appeared on camera while we pretended to organize closets. Her phone was always recording audio in the background. 3 weeks into our channel, Maya saw a comment from a viewer complimenting my hands in an organizing video. She snapped. The camera caught her coming at me with a kitchen knife, screaming that I was just like her father, that she'd make sure no woman ever looked at me again. When I tried to leave, she cornered me, threatening to tell everyone I was the abuser if I ever walked away. Her eyes were wild, desperate, nothing like the woman I'd fallen in love with. That's when mom came back in, claiming she'd forgotten her charger. She'd been live streaming to a secure server the whole time, with her lawyer on standby. 6 months later, we sat in court with undeniable evidence. Hours of footage showing the escalating abuse. Audio recordings of her threats. Medical records from my balcony fall. I thought justice was finally coming. The judge ruled the recordings were obtained without Maya's consent and were inadmissible. Her lawyer argued I provoked her through emotional infidelity. One isolated incident didn't prove a pattern of abuse, they said. The knife incident was self-defense against my aggressive behavior. She walked out with a warning. I got a restraining order against me for harassment through a legal recording. But Maya wasn't done. When I got home that day, I discovered my new next-door neighbor. Maya had moved in right beside me. She stood in her doorway, smiling that same sweet smile from our first date, holding a casserole dish like nothing had happened. Thought you might be hungry, she said softly. I made your favorite. My hands trembled as I fumbled with my keys. The restraining order meant I couldn't approach her, couldn't confront her, couldn't do anything while she lived 20 feet away from my front door. She found the perfect loophole. That night, I heard her through the walls, humming the song we danced to on our first anniversary. My mom called, her voice breaking when I told her. Even with all her planning, all her evidence, the system had failed us both. I started sleeping with a chair against my door.